Is the sheep preaching hate when it says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop him. Do whatever you have to do to stop him. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate, he's violent.
Like, notice this, right? I was doing some studying, okay? And especially on this topic of forgiveness. And I was going to do like a lesson or share some information in regards to Judas and Jesus, right? Yashua and Judas had this very odd relationship. Their relationship was very strange. You understand what I mean? And when I say strange, it was not like earthly. It was not normal. It was not of the world. You understand what I mean? Jesus at one point said that he chose all 12 disciples and one of them was a devil, meaning he chose 11 disciples in one devil. You understand what I'm saying? He knew the whole time that Judas was a devil. He knew the whole time that Judas was going to betray him. He knew the whole time that this was going to take place. But what did Jesus do? What did Yeshua do? When it came to the supper, right? He knew it. He washed Judas' feet. He washed his feet. He gave him a seat at the table amongst the disciples. Not only did he give him a seat at the table, right? Just check out how much forgiveness is in this man's heart, is in the heart of Yeshua, our master, our savior, Yeshua. You understand what I'm saying? Think about it. How much forgiveness has to be in your heart for you to know that somebody's going to betray you, but yet you still wash their feet, but yet you still give them a seat at the table, but yet you still break bread with them. Then not only that, you tell everybody in the room, one of y'all are going to betray me, and you never out the individual that you know is going to betray you. You understand what I'm saying? How much forgiveness in your heart? How much forgiveness? And Judas was already forgiven of his betrayal before he even went and did the deed. Before he even went and betrayed Yeshua, before he went and told and betrayed him, he was already forgiven, y'all. He was already forgiven. Yeshua did the work all the way up until the time Judas went and betrayed him. He did the work of forgiveness that whole time. He did the work of washing Judas' feet, of breaking bread with Judas, of letting him sit at the table, of not exposing him. All the rest of the 11 disciples would have stumped Judas out. You don't think he would have? They would have murdered Judas. Judas wouldn't have been able to make it out that room if he would have outed him. But he proceeds to never out Judas, okay? But then he proceeds for the rest of the 11. He starts to call them out as to what they're going to do. Peter, you're going to deny me thrice before the croak. He started calling out everybody else as to what they're going to do because they were going to have to prepare their hearts. You got to understand that they were going to have to prepare their hearts. They were going to have to prepare their mind, their hearts to forgive themselves after they done it. They were going to have to do it. They were going to have to they were going to have to step to the plate. They were going to have to then challenge themselves. And he already knew what they're going to do. He warned them of what they're going to do. Once it was done afterwards, they knew it and they had to deal with it aggressively. They had to deal with that level of shame, right? Of not being in his corner the way they should have. They had to deal with that aggressively. And when it came time to stand up for him, right? Those disciples stood up for preaching the gospel. You understand what I'm saying? They stood up for Yeshua. It strengthened them. It strengthened their walk. It gave them space and opportunity to deal with the shame aggressively. You understand what I mean? But Judas on the other hand, he couldn't deal with the shame. He couldn't deal with it. He even knew, like in the back of his mind, that he would be the one. Listen, he couldn't deal with the shame. He couldn't deal with the thought that he wouldn't be forgiven. He was already forgiven. He didn't even realize it. And he proceeded to do what? He took his own, he self-deleted. He couldn't deal with the shame of what he'd done. He couldn't bear the iniquity. He couldn't bear it, even though he didn't realize that Yeshua doing all those things was trying to show him that he was already forgiven. How many of you want to be like a Judas, want to be like Judas and hang on to feelings of bitterness and of shame, of all these different feelings that Nick is telling you to hang on to? It's okay. It's justified. You understand what I'm saying? Forgiveness is an action. It has nothing to do with your feelings. You know what I mean? Things like that, right? he couldn't bear it, so he self-deleted. And my thing is this: he loved all of them so much that the forgiveness already was departed to them during that supper, during that breaking of the bread. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? And then offered them up peace. How did he offer them up peace? By letting them know what they're going to be doing. And then he let them know that, listen, based on his actions, based on his persona, it's okay. It's okay. You're going to do this, and it's fine that you're going to do it. But this is what's going to take place. And I already know what's going to happen. How much forgiveness did he have to have for Peter, who denied him 3 times before the crow crowed? How he had to work on that forgiveness before he even witnessed it himself? How angry could he have been just listening to Peter, somebody who was so loyal to him, deny him? You understand what I'm saying? I saw, but I was studying that, y'all, and I found that to be very interesting. And, especially based on this conversation, I found it to be very interesting. But just the love of the Messiah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy how much he loves you. And just, he knows that you're a sinner. He knows that you're going to betray. You're going to go against all this stuff. You're going to be a terrible disciple of Yeshua until you figure it out, until you start to walk straighter, until you do it bit by bit, piece by piece. Don't think that you're too sinful. Don't think that you got too much sin in your life to think that you can't come to Yeshua, that you can't come to Jesus. Don't think that you can't, because listen, the disciples, they had to work that stuff out themselves, the betrayal, right? And not showing up for him. Listen, don't think that you can't come to him and you feel like you're a sinner. You need to be sure that you come to him while you're a sinner. Whatever you're doing currently to be sinning, pray, fast, do whatever you got to do in the midst of the sin, and he will deliver you from it. I promise you, he will. He will set you free, especially if you're sick of it. If you're tired of it, listen, he's going to remove it from your flesh, and you're not going to have any issues with it anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Until it wants to come back and tempt you, then you got to make sure that you in your prayer bag. Okay. You got to get in your prayer bag, because, it's going to want to come back, but you're